Good morning, Year 3, Miss Smith here with another instalment of our English learning. Now, yesterday we had a little bit of a look at all those different pictures, and those pictures are going to help us with our story from now on. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a very similar way that we teach English in class. We're going to have 2 plot points today. We'll collect loads of ideas through our initiates, and then you'll be given some time to do your writing. Now on Teams, there is an assignment that is called English Story. If you click on that, each day you can upload your sentences, or failing that, if you just write it down on some paper, take pictures of it, put it on Tapestry or Teams, and then myself, Miss Coatman, to get back to you as well. So this is the picture that we are going to start with, our very first plot point. So our story this week is written from the point of view of this little boy here, and this person is his mum. Now, our first initiate, we've got 2 to start with, but we're just going to start with the first one. Just grab some scrap paper if you can, or if you're lucky enough to have an exercise book or something, do the usual thing where we split our page up in half. So, our first initiate today is focusing on the onomatopoeia, and then we'll be looking at time adverbs. So onomatopoeias are all those words that sound the way that doing the thing sounds like as well. So in your first initiate box, can you please write down some words that you could use to describe lots of guns and lots of bombs? Think back to those pictures we looked at yesterday. So if you pause the video here and then write down some of those onomatopoeias for me in your first box. Okay, so obviously I can't collect all of your onomatopoeias that you have managed to find and to write down, but I have got a list of them here, and then the ones that I thought would be best for guns and for bombs would be ones like boom, don't think that's meant to say bang. Boom, bang and crash. I thought they would be some good ones. You might have found some other ones you can use as well. Now our second initiate box for today is all about time adverbs. Now what happens in our first plot point is that this little boy and his mother are living in an area that is full of things that have got like guns and bombs going off. So they're living in a really dangerous place. And the little boy's mother tells him that they need to move. So for your second box, can you come up with a list of time adverbs that you can think of when this boy was told he's going to move? Pause the video and put those in your second box for me, please. Okay, so once again, I can't hear any of your fantastic ideas, but these are some that I came up with. So I thought of having the time adverb of last month, or one evening, a few weeks ago, or during the last bombing. And I've put my commas on the end of each one to make sure it's a fronted adverbial, and I've added some extra information into that sentence as well. So we can use these ones. Now I'm going to show you the model, just like we do normally in lessons, of an example of something that you could write for your sentences. So I want to make sure I include my onomatopoeias and my time adverbs. That's what I've got up here. So my model is crash, bang. I was always used to hearing those terrible sounds, but last month Mummy told me we have to leave our home. Now I've done a really basic couple of sentences here. I still have included my onomatopoeias and my time adverbs, and I'd like you to do the same to describe what the boy can always hear, what's kind of going on, and then when he was told they were going to have to leave. Pause the video here, and I've said about 10 minutes, so really think about those sentences that you are writing. Deepen the moment, don't go any further in your story, but think about what else could you add to make it more exciting and more interesting. Remember, mine is really basic, so you can always make it much better than mine. Pause the video here, and we'll come back to plot point 2 in just a second. Okay, so hopefully you've all managed to do your first paragraph. Hopefully it took you about 10 minutes or so as well, and I'm looking forward to reading those later on today. So our second plot point today is this picture here. So again, we've got our little boy and we've got his mother as well. And we're going to find out what our second paragraph is going to be about. So exactly the same again, we've got our 2 initiates to focus on. Now, the first one that we're going to do is all about speech. So Mum has just said to him, last month, Mum told me we have to leave. In this paragraph, we're going to start by explaining what did Mum actually say to this little boy at the time. Now, I have written here our speech rules to remind us. So when somebody starts speaking, we start a new line, open our speech marks using a capital letter. We put either a comma, a question mark, or an exclamation mark at the end. We close our speech marks, and then we need to say who said it. So in your third box, have a go at using these speech rules correctly, or you can just write down what you think Mum is going to say. But what did Mum say to this little boy specifically about leaving? Pause the video here for me. So here are some of the examples that I came up with. It's not safe here, sweetheart, Mum whispered through her tears. We have to leave now, my mum said as she held my face in her hands. It's too scary. I want to keep you safe, Mum sniffled. So we can use these as some inspiration for your own writing. I've actually included little extra bits on the end, like Mum whispered through her tears and stuff like that as well, just to make it really exciting for the reader, really up level that, really think about being in year 3 now. So we're going to include speech in our second paragraph, but we are also going to include some feelings. Now, yesterday you did loads of work on some of the different fantastics and you looked at feelings here. So I don't want to say I was scared or anything like that. Let's do a show don't tell sentence. Let's make this really exciting. So what can the little boy physically do and what can the mum do as well? How can they be showing their emotions about the fact that they had to leave? So pause the video here and in your fourth box, jot down some ideas for me. Okay, so hopefully we've got some amazing show don't tell sentences. So here is just a couple that I came up with. Now I'm talking about the mum here and how she's showing her emotions. Tears ran down her cheeks, her head sunk into her chest, and Mum's lip trembled. So I haven't said Mum was sad, Mum was upset. I've shown how she was sad and upset instead. So these are the two things we're going to include in this paragraph now. You're going to do some speech about what Mum said and then a show don't tell sentence to explain her feelings. So I'm going to show you the example that I've got now. So Mum said, "It's not safe here anymore, sweetheart. We need to move somewhere where I can keep you out of harm," she whispered through her tears. So I've included the speech correctly using all of the speech rules, and then with the extra information on the end, I have done my feeling. Now, once again, that is the really basic sentence. I want you to see if you can make my work and your own work even better than that. Really push yourself. Don't go any further in the story. Deepen the moment. What other fantastics could we use? What were Mum and the little boy doing at the time? And remember, you're writing as the little boy. So pause the video here, and you've got 10 minutes to finish that off for me. Okay, so hopefully you've had the opportunity to write your 2 paragraphs for today. This is the very beginning of our story, and we've got a lot more days to find out what happens to our little boy and to his mother. Hopefully you've enjoyed your English lesson today. You can make sure you've typed up everything on the assignment page, and someone will get back to you really soon with some comments as well. Stay safe, guys, and I'll see you soon.